Hey, I just felt like I needed to come out and share my story of going through some stuff. I've shared this about 5 times already, but it's been a while. So, first off, I always like to start with my favorite Bible verse. It's Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I lack. In green pastures you let me graze. To safe waters you lead me. You restore my strength. You guide me along the right path, for the sake of your name. Even when I walk through a dark valley, I fear no harm, for you are at my side. Your rod and your staff give me courage. You set a table before me, as my enemies watch. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Only goodness and love will pursue me all the days of my life. I will dwell in the house of the Lord for years to come. Basically, grew up all the way till I was in 6th grade. I was popular, had a lot of friends, and everything was like perfect, basically. And 7th grade happened, and went to a really small Episcopalian school. There were about 20 people in my class at the time, and all of a sudden 7th grade came, and the girls basically all decided that, hey, we're gonna leave these 3 girls out, and it was hard because basically there were like 6 girls in the class and the rest were boys. One of the girls left out was me, along with 2 other people. And we also did volleyball together, so we basically had to pretend like we were friends. This went on till I graduated, and I was fine, kind of, I guess. And I just didn't think anything too much about it then. And I thought, oh yay, high school, I can start over, be popular again, and things will be better. Well, so I decided to go to a Catholic high school, thinking I could just start over. I went there knowing like 3 people who came from my middle school. We didn't have any classes together, and I basically sat in the bathroom like in Mean Girls on the first day of school. I made friends, but within the first month I started getting bullied, and I didn't tell anyone because I thought, oh, it's just once, it'll be fine. I mean, I did end up crying a lot, and the only reason I ended up at the principal's office was because someone found out, which I was glad about, but it continued, and I still didn't tell anyone. Eventually, sophomore year, I felt like I couldn't handle it anymore, and on top of that, I was already stressed out. I have learning disability and epilepsy, so I don't know. I started getting stressed out, and one night I just found myself cutting. I told my best friend the next day and promised her I wouldn't do it again. Well, I started doing it again that same night, told her I wouldn't, and I broke it. Thankfully, the next year, I ended up going to a teacher. It's basically a miracle because I basically written her a letter in class but wasn't going to give it to her. Then immediately when she started talking to me about this program we had at my school, where students could go and talk to a counselor, I tried convincing her that I didn't need to go because my mind was going back to thinking that it's fine, like it helps me deal with it, like it's not that big deal, like all these things running through my head, like no, I'm fine, like I'm not gonna end up in the hospital, like I'm never gonna go too far, I'm not suicidal, I'm fine, like it's how I deal. But when I went to counseling, it really opened my eyes. Eventually did. I'm very stubborn and still am. Eventually it did open my eyes that I really was not going to get better unless I was willing to open myself up to why I felt this way. I had to basically write everything in a journal because I had no idea how to get it out. Like, I had basically grown up like not talking about my emotions to like anyone. I'd either talk a lot or just be really quiet. But after being bullied, I'm still like, I know I'm talking a lot now, but I tend to just be really shy most of the time. I didn't know that's definitely still an effect from being bullied. But anyways, moving on from high school. By the way, I'm almost 5 months strong, but all thanks to, of course, God getting me through. But I believe that God can use people to help other people get through things. And I ended up going away to college after going to a community college for 2 years. And everything was fine. And then my roommate decided basically that she didn't really want to be friends with me anymore. I thought we were best friends. Well, even prior to that, I started getting stressed out again, and I was very close to relapsing. But most of it, I was on YouTube, and I was like, okay, I can't do this again. It's been 2 years. This can't happen again. But it was really hard. So I was on YouTube. And I just was like, okay, Demi Lovato, typed in her name, and Skyscraper came on. Thank goodness. Because after that came on, I just felt like there was this release in a good way rather than going back to what had caused stress to increase, because it really doesn't help. And in addition to that, there's been other times when she's also helped me to just calm down from being stressed out, that it's gonna get better, and your skin is not worth having marks on it by your own hand. I feel like this video is like so out of order, but I will say, once in high school, I've never actually come out said this at all, not even to my counselor, but if anyone's watching this in the same case, tell them I never did. Thankfully, I'm good. I did one night, basically, almost very close to considering suicide. I went to my bathroom, no one was home, and I was basically sitting on the floor ready to just do it. Well, basically a miracle happened, and I felt literally God's hand like holding on here, and I like couldn't move my hand. Like, I tried wrestling with, basically convinced it was my guardian angel holding on to my arm. I tried wrestling like really hard. Let me move a little bit, but not close enough to be able to do anything. And even on this hand, felt like there was like a wall blocking me from being able to do anything. And I ended up dropping what I was going to use and just bawling. But I just want to let you guys know that there is help out there, and get it. I know it's hard to just flat out tell anyone, even your best friend, what you're going through, but every single one of you out there is worth it. And you're gonna get through this, and I love you. And I hope that this will at least save one person's life, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, maybe in the future. But I don't know. I'm praying for every single one of you. I know that I don't know every single one of you, but you're in my heart. In addition to this, I have no idea what I'm doing after college, but I know I definitely want to possibly go around to different schools and talking about my experience with bullying, and to try to help people with their problems, or do missionary work. But anyway, I can help people get through they're going through. I love it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful life, and you will. You'll have a wonderful life ahead of you. Just take it one day at a time. It may be stormy now, but it's going to get better. I promise. Especially if you get help. And I love you. Bye.